Today I wanted to discuss rights on my patent. And I guess about 8 years ago, I was on the internet on the Ministry of Natural Resources website, and they had a contact us if you have any questions, which I did. And I got a response, and the land title specialist went and took a look at my patent, which I attached, and then he gave me the current standing. So I'm just going to read that off, okay? On review of the patent record you attached, the reservations conditions in place at the time were all mines of gold and silver, all white pine trees. The Surveyor General of Woods condition, which starts near the end of the first page, provided also that no part of the parcel or tract of land hereby given and granted to the said Thomas Fitzgerald and his heirs be within any reservation heretofore made and marked for us and our heirs and successors by our Surveyor General of Woods or his lawful deputy, in which case this our grant for such part of the land hereby given and granted to the said Thomas Fitzgerald and his heirs forever as foresaid, and which shall upon a survey thereof being made found within any such reservation shall be null and void and of none effect, and anything therein contained to the contrary notwithstanding. The time limit for the dwelling of construction and residence condition, which states near the top of the second page, provided also that the said Thomas Fitzgerald, his heirs or assigned, shall and do within 3 years erect, build, or cause to be erected and built in and upon some part of the said parcel of land or tract of land a good sufficient dwelling house, he the said Thomas Fitzgerald or his assigns not having built or not being in his own right lawfully possessed of any house in our said province, and be therein or cause some person to be therein resident for and during the space of 1 year, thence next ensuing the building of the same. The oaths prescribed by law condition, which starts after the condition number 4, provided also that if at any time or times after the land was given and granted to the said Thomas Fitzgerald and his heirs shall come into the possession and tenure of any person or persons whomsoever, either by virtue of any deed of sale, conveyance, enofferment, or exchange, or by gift, inheritance, descent, device, or marriage, such person or persons shall within 12 months next after his, her, or their entry into and possession of the same, take the oaths prescribed by law before someone of the magistrates of our said province, and a certificate of such oaths having been so taken shall cause to be recorded in the Secretary's office of the said province. Item 6. The proviso on the bottom of the first page provided always that at any time or times hereafter within a space of 3 years from the date of these presents, the said Thomas Fitzgerald by any deed of bargain and sale, release, exchange, or other conveyance shall grant, bargain, sell, lien, release, or convey all or any part of the said parcel or tract of land hereby granted then, and in such case this our grant for such part of the land so given and granted to the said Thomas Fitzgerald and his heirs as foresaid shall be null and void, anything herein before contained to the contrary thereof anywise notwithstanding. So here's the response that came back from the Ministry of Natural Resources, and the patents, the records of the patents are held at the Ministry of Natural Resources office in Peterborough, but you can also obtain a copy at the Ontario Archives located at York University, where they have some very, very smart people who know how to find this information and help you through it. So the reservations of mineral rights in grants prior to May 6, 1919 are void. See Section 61 of the Public Lands Act. You would now own all the complete mining rights. 2. Reservations of trees granted under any act prior to April 1st, 1869 are void. Section 58 of the Public Lands Act, you would now own all the trees regardless of species. Item number 3, the Surveyor General of Woods condition is void. Section 10 of the Public Lands Act, Amendment Act 1956. The time-dwelling dwelling construction and resident condition is void. Section 7 of the Public Lands Act, amended in 1957. Oaths prescribed by law, condition is void. Section 8 of the Public Lands Amendment Act of 1957. The proviso not to sell the land within 3 years is not void, but as you stated, provided Mr. Fitzgerald did not sell within 3 years, this proviso would have no effect today. It is my understanding that the veteran's entitlement was the grant of land which Mr. Fitzgerald received by virtue of this patent. I trust this makes sense to you. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have further questions. Provincial Land Specialist, Crown Land Registry, Land and Water Services Section, Ministry of the Natural Resources. So basically what it's saying is whatever has been reserved on my patent in today's era has been released or voided.